So what does it actually mean to be happy? It's a question we all ask ourselves, right? And for thousands of years, some of the world's greatest minds have been trying to figure it out. In this explainer, we're going to distill all that thinking down to what really matters.
I mean, this is it. This is the big one. This question is the engine behind pretty much everything we do. Our ambitions, our relationships, our biggest life choices. What's the secret to a good life? What actually truly makes us happy? Let's dive in and look at some of the blueprints philosophy has given us.
Okay, here's a really powerful way to think about this whole thing. The pursuit of happiness. It's not like a treasure hunt for one single prize. It's more like walking into a massive, crowded laboratory. Everyone in there is running their own experiment, mixing up their own personal formula. There's no one-size-fits-all answer.
So let's go ahead and put on our lab coats. We're about to take a tour through this very laboratory to see what some of history's greatest thinkers discovered when they ran their own experience on happiness.
Our tour kicks off, as so many things do, in ancient Greece. This is really where the first solid blueprints for a happy life were drafted. And honestly, you might be surprised at just how well they've held up over time. First up, we meet Epicurus. Now, when people hear his name, they usually think of, wild parties and endless pleasure. But that's a huge misunderstanding. His formula wasn't about chasing thrills. It was all about achieving tranquility. His advice was actually pretty simple. Figure out what you're afraid of, stop wanting a bunch of stuff you don't really need, and make space for some quiet inside your own head. It's about subtraction, not addition.
And then you've got the Stoics. They built their entire philosophy around this idea of inner control. Their argument was, frankly, revolutionary. They said, look, you can't control the chaos of the world. That's a given. But you can always control your reaction to it. So happiness isn't about everything going your way. It's about mastering your own mind. If you can keep your inner world in order, like this quote says, no amount of chaos on the outside can really break you.
But then, a philosophical giant steps into the laboratory and just completely changes the game. For Aristotle, happiness wasn't just a calm feeling or a tough mindset. Nope. For him, it was something way bigger. It was a life's work.
He gave us this incredible concept, eudaimonia. Now, this word isn't just happiness like you feel after getting a promotion. It's way deeper. It means human flourishing. It's that deep, lasting satisfaction that comes from living a full, meaningful, and virtuous life. It's a state of being, not just a fleeting feeling.
So how do we get to this eudaimonia? Well, Aristotle basically gave us a roadmap. It's not about just finding pleasure, it's about becoming your best self. It starts with figuring out what you're truly capable of, then using that potential to build a life with meaning, all while actively trying to be a good person, practicing courage, honesty, that kind of thing. It's a project you work on every single day of your life.
For centuries, those Greek blueprints were pretty much the gold standard. But then the modern era came along and introduced a darker, more complicated twist. It started to challenge the very idea that happiness was even the point of it all.
And this brings us to a huge fork in the road. On one side, you have the intense pessimism of Schopenhauer. He basically thought that life is suffering, and any moment of happiness is just a short commercial break between sorrows. So for him, the goal was just to minimize pain. But on the complete other side, you've got Nietzsche. He argued that avoiding pain is weak. For him, true meaning and that powerful sense of joy are born from the struggle, from embracing challenges and creating your own values. So the question becomes, is life about dodging pain, or is it about embracing the fight?
This whole debate, avoiding pain versus embracing struggle, it leads us straight into our modern world, where the happiness experiment has shifted yet again. Now it's focused less on pleasure and way more on this deep search for meaning.
What's amazing is that today, fields like positive psychology have actually started to test all these ancient ideas, and the findings are fascinating. It turns out we're all still looking for the same basic things. The core elements of well-being in the modern world, having a sense of meaning, healthy relationships, personal growth, making an impact, it sounds an awful lot like Aristotle's eudaimonia, just kind of updated for the 21st century.
Okay, so we've finished our tour of the lab. We've seen the different formulas, from the peace and quiet of Epicurus to the flourishing of Aristotle and the struggle of Nietzsche. So now let's try to put all these pieces together. If there is one single thing to take away from all of this, it's this. Happiness is not some object you can just go out and find and then keep forever. It's a living process. It's something you have to actively build day in and day out. It's a unique combination of your perspective, your purpose, your growth, and your connections with other people. And this gets us to a core theme you can find in almost every philosophy we've looked at. Lasting happiness is more about being right than having much. In other words, real fulfillment comes from your character, from who you are, not from what you own. It's about the quality of your being, not the quantity of your possessions.
Which brings it all back to you, standing in your own laboratory. We've seen the blueprints from some of history's greatest thinkers. The question now isn't which one of them was right. The real question is, what ingredients from their experiments are you going to choose to put into your own unique formula for a life well lived?